Hey everybody, Nerdy Transformed here again, and today I have the last anime figure I own. At least as of now, the last one I own. This is, of course, Transformers animated Voyager class Blitzwing. Now, Blitzwing is certainly a favorite character of mine from the show. He's a favorite of a lot of the fans. He's just overall a beloved character just because for his humor, his antics, just all the stuff he got up to with Lugnut. In the show, he was partners with Lugnut, which, let's go ahead and get the comparison out of the way. You can see there he is in his jet mode next to Lugnut's kind of bomber mode. Definitely out of proportion, but I don't mind it too much. And let's see, okay, and here he is next to Ratchet. Quite a small jet, I might say, if this is supposed to be an ambulance. And just one more comparison, here he is next to the Voyager helicopter drift from the Age of Extinction movie. So yeah, if you don't know anything about Blitzwing, they basically kept him very similar to how at least in his design, very similar to how he is in the original G1 cartoon, where he has two vehicle modes. He has this jet mode, and since you can see the treads on the side, he also has a tank mode. And then of course he also has his robot mode. And this is the jet mode, and overall, probably the weakest mode out of the three modes, of course, but it's still a really nice little jet mode. The good parts is that, well, he's got some very nice colors. It's very similar to what anime always does, where, like, you know, Grimlock went from being gold and red to being maroon, or no, from red and yellow to gold and maroon. Blitzwing does a similar thing where instead of like yellow, he has this like grayish, like from the kind of beige he had before, it's more of a gray. It's still slightly beige, but it's a lot more of a gray than it was originally. The original was kind of like closer to what a human skin color would be. He's gotten rid of the yellow altogether, which was only on his helmet, so not a big deal. And yeah, the rest of it's just purple and black with little hints of red all over. Little dashes of red like here and on the little back part here. And just little edges of it on the front there. Just little tiny bits just to break it up slightly. He of course has a gold Decepticon symbol right on his windshield, so I'm not sure how he's going to see you. You can't see where he's flying. Look out, look out! Crash. Up, and he dented his nose. Poor nose cone. The interesting thing is I think his nose cone is actually made from a different type of plastic. It certainly feels different. Which is interesting because real jets actually have to have their nose cone made from plastic, otherwise the radar won't work, because a radar sees metal, and if the radar was inside of a metal cone, all it would see is the cone. So yeah, there's a little bit of jet trivia if you're interested. So jet mode itself, it's got some cool details. It's got these little vents on the bottom here. It's got some purple around the windshield to kind of give it more color. Like I said, it's got little red highlights. It's got these purple vents here. Got these, not sure what this is, but it looks cool on it. On the wings, you can actually see kind of like what looks like screws to kind of make it look like it's actually been put together. Got these little, and you got all these little details. Got these red things, which are actually for the tank mode. You can see very similar to the whole screw thing on the tail wings on both sides of them. So yeah, completely detail all around. Even on the bottom where you're not going to see it, it's still got the detail, which is really nice. You got these little things on the side. I'm not sure what any of this would be, but you know, it's just got a lot of nice little details. It's got a lot of details for an animated toy, because they're usually all really smooth, but this one's got a lot more of a, not realistic, but definitely looks like it was put together and realistically. And then the problem with the jet mode, well, obviously he has the tank treads instead of normal. The robot feet kind of just stick out, but they have to in order to like kind of peg this jet, because the back of the jet's pegged into this, otherwise nothing would be holding this in place. And my major problem is just all the gaps he has. Like, yeah, that's a pretty bad gap right there. You can see straight into where all the robot junk is. Also, this is like on a spring because of what's sitting on, because the arms have these pieces that spring out. And because of that, it does push this up. When it's supposed to sit down lower, you hear the spring kind of reacting to me pushing it down. So that kind of sucks. And then from the side, yeah, a bunch more. I mean, from the bottom, yeah, you can see the robot stuff, but I don't mind that too much. It's more from the side where just everything, there's nothing kind of holding all this together. It's just a bunch of junk. So yeah, I like the jet mode, but it does have a lot of issues. Although you can move the wings in and out if you want, so you can kind of make him look like he's going faster. Or, I don't know why a jet would want to bring its wings in, but you can, and yeah, that splits apart easily. There we go. And there we go, guys. Hold it together. And yeah, these panels don't lock on anything, they just kind of sit here. You can kind of make them upward and make it look like they might be connected to here, but they just really sit there. Oh. And yeah, the whole thing started to come apart. You can see, yeah, this thing does pig into the bottom of those feet pieces. Well, if he's going to be coming apart anyway, we might as well go ahead and transform him. So first thing you're going to do is take the nose cone, you're going to actually flip it into the bottom there. You're going to do the same with the actual cockpit. It's going to separate from here and flip around to the bottom, which kind of makes it look like we're forming the robot, but we're not doing that quite yet. And yeah, the head is right here behind the nose cone. Next, you're going to come back here and untab the whole combustion engine thingy piece, whatever this is, from there. Flip the bottom of the treads open and flip the robot feet away so where you can actually have more complete looking treads. And that's why the feet are kind of empty, so they have the space to kind of fit these wheels. For this whole, we're actually most of the way done because this whole engine piece back here will actually form the tank turret. So what you're going to do is fold the tail pieces down. And you're going to kind of just swivel them up like this. This is the tricky part. Is these little square bits that I was talking about earlier, these little 2 bits here. They have to push past all this plastic down here. It can be kind of tricky to show. You just gotta hold it right the right place where you have a lot of space. If you do it right, you can get the push through like that. You're gonna bring it over. You can see there's a little hole in the bottom. The tabs that come together here it'll tab onto, locking all of this together to where it's a lot more solid than it was in jet mode. You're going to bring the wings all the way back, and that will actually form the front of the tank. You can see the little red bits on the wingtips are actually like the visor you can see outside the tank. The wings have those 2 hinges so they can bend and kind of fit on top. None of this pigs together, but it's got a lot of friction, so it actually holds pretty well. You're going to push these pieces down, flip these back on these hinges, and swivel them so they have the triggers on top. And yeah, I'm missing the missiles. The missiles basically are fireballs that in jet mode make it look like the jet's flying, and here they would just be fireballs that can shoot. I don't have the missiles, but oh well, could be worse. And there's his little tank mode. And once again for comparison, here he is next to Lugnut. So yeah, he looks a lot smaller, but he's also a lot more compact. Like you can see all those pieces, there is not much room between those pieces anymore. There is it is very compact, very tight little tank here. Here he is next to Drift. And since he's a bit more looking like a deluxe now, oh, Drift, don't fall over. Here he is next to Ratchet. And you know what, if we're going to be doing tanks anyway, here he is next to Revenge of the Fallen Desert Brawl. And yeah, there we go, tank comparison. So yeah, as you can see, unlike Brawl or Armada Megatron, instead of like an H-tank or a more classic tank as we know it, this is kind of definitely more what anime would make out of a tank. Yeah, I still kind of got the discombobulation all over the back, but as far as the actual back goes, it looks okay. It's just from the side, and it's still a mess, but it's not as noticeable because it's a tank. Something about it being a tank just makes it easier to get away with that. Although I do wish the wings actually pegged together or had something to hold them together because they do come apart kind of easily, making this split in the tank, which does not look good. But you can kind of have the treads hold in place, that's why you have these little bits here. So yeah, that's what those red parts on the wingtips were, was a nice little visor. Make a really mean looking little tank. And now we have fully formed treads, and my one complaint about the treads is that this part right here, which is in plastic for his knees, I wish they had painted this black because it got detailed to be like treads, but it's purple and gray, which makes it stick out really badly. But he does roll. He does roll really nicely considering he just has 2 little wheels that it's sitting on. He rolls really nicely. And then the tank turret, nice little ratchet on the tank turret so you get a nice clicky click every time you turn it. It can't move up or down, but you know, I'm quite happy with that. I love ratcheted things like that. It just sounds so nice. Alright, I'm probably killing anybody who has headphones right now. So yeah, that's the tank mode. Most of the details are exactly the same. It's just everything's been moved around and made a bit more compact, a bit more, just overall pretty nice. It still suffers a bit because of all of this, but it's not too bad. It's better than 2 vehicle modes in my opinion. And now you can actually see, since it's on top, you see the pigs are holding into the feet, the purple in here, the nice little details in the turrets, and they look pretty good, look pretty powerful. And I do like how there's just an entire turret on top of it's like a dual-wielding one. It's very unique for our tank among Transformers. I don't think there's any other tanks that really kind of match this. So that is pretty cool. So why don't we go into the robot mode? So get in the robot mode, you're going to take this piece back here, flip it out, connect it back onto the jet piece, and flip it around. That gives him his head. Take this piece back here, you're going to turn it upward, bring these flaps back to give him room, and unpeg it again. Straighten the wings back out. The actual treads, we're going to bring them down a bit. You can see inside it's his hands grasping his own butt cheeks. Yeah, I don't know why he grasps his own butt cheeks when he's in vehicle modes, but that's what he does. You're going to push the hands up, and that gives you the leverage to push these treads out, which you could have done anyway, but now you have the room with the hands out of the way to bring these pieces out for his legs. Then you're going to open them back up again, flip this part out for his heels, and then you're going to flip the whole thing out to give him his nice big boot feet. Close those back up. This whole part back here splits. And the arms are also pegged in on the inside. You can see the two little pegs on those. You're going to bring the arms forward on these hinges. Then you can see, once again, there's a peg sticking on his back that, once again, this turret just pegs right into. Just sitting on his back. And then the last thing you do is you're going to take the wing pieces. Bring it up a bit. Bring it up a bit so we can see what we're doing. They are on this little hinge here. You're just going to bring them to the back. Oh, wait. No, you actually got to straighten out the arms. You see the arms are kind of bent inward on this double elbow. You're just going to basically pull them out to where they're straightened out. They're just sitting in the back, and that gives you enough clearance to move these pieces to the back of his arms to where they're not blocking his arms anymore. And that is your Blitzwing in robot mode. Alright, you guys might have noticed I didn't really talk about his personality at all. That's because it's easier to talk about his personality on robot mode, because he has a gimmick. You see, he has 3 faces. You have this face, which is his scientist face. You have this face, which is like his army general face. And then you have this, which is his crazy face. And you want to know there is a thing to move on the back, but it's just easy to grab his face and turn it, really. So yeah, each one was a different personality. This one was the one we saw the most often. And he was kind of just like more scientific, logical, blah blah blah, Spock kind of thing. Just, oh yes, we must calculate this and go take care of it. You know, that kind of thing. Turn it. And we got this face, which is kind of just like the Terminator, like, I will destroy you! I will crush you all, you pathetic worms, kind of thing. Yeah, he was a bit crazy. He's kind of like almost a crazier lug nut. Then we have this, which is just plain crazy. Oh, let's just think of this and just destroy everything. This will be fun. Or you make jokes. He's kind of like, you know, it's hard to explain what he was. It's kind of like almost like he's Meowth or something from Pokemon. He's just making fun of everything, just completely nuts in this. Although the only thing I have to complain about with this face is it's supposed to completely fill up the helmet, and it really doesn't. It looks way too skinny for it. But that's just because of the switching face gimmick. So yeah, this head's kind of just red out like a jack-o'-lantern that's red and black. This one's just got a humongous chin with some like, he's got like goggles or something, or glasses, and like red skin. And also this red skin one's like the closest one to the original G1 face, because the G1 face did have like a goggles or visor kind of thing going on. This one's kind of got like one robotic eye, one more normal looking eye, like a monocle or something, with a really long chin. He looks like Jafar or something. So yeah, that's Blitzwing. You can see his robot mode. It's pretty good. There are some new details like his arms and his hips and all that, but you can see a lot of it's also just his robot details. Like, yeah, the sides of the chest are new, but the middle is just the jet cockpit. The legs are the treads from the tank mode, you know, stuff like that. And of course, the tank turret itself is actually sitting on his back. Which in the show, it could actually like fold forward, like, you know, here if I were to pop it off. In the show, you can actually fold them forward like this and have them on his shoulders to shoot with, but the actual toy can't do that, sadly, but that's alright. Get back. There we go. Peg back on. Those things are really tight. So, let's go with his partner in the most loyal subject of Megatron, Lugnut, who, like I said, in his review is supposed to be like way up here. And he's not. Much too short. You should at least be the same height. Why are you so short? Here he's next to Ratchet. That's probably about right for their sizes. And Age of Extinction Drift. Okay, yeah, the Voyager's got a little bit smaller, but it's not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. They're just not as bulky. They're all scrawny little things like this. Meanwhile, we have a much smoother, much bulkier looking Blitzwing here. So, this is Blitzwing. And you can see on the back, yep, got all this stuff hanging off and all that. One thing weird is when you move his shoulders, the whole thing has to come with it, so... Oh, got the arm turned around. Oh, you can splay the wings out like he's a seeker jet, but... don't really care for the look. I just kind of have him like against his back. Oh, cool thing is they do kind of line up with what the tail wings were to make it look like he has a big wing going all the way across his back, even though he doesn't really have that. So that's a cool little trick you can kind of do with it. Kind of look like he's got like a giant jetpack going on. Especially if you flip the turret upside down, you can kind of pretend this is a jetpack. Or you can unpeg it completely. There you go. So yeah. Articulation wise, nothing ratcheted here, but you do get a complete 360 with his arm. His arm can go up and down, it can go backwards because of the transformation. You do get a swivel. On this arm, it's extremely loose in the swivel. I mean, he's like, meh. I think that's just mine. It's just like a piece is missing or broke off or something. He does have, thanks to transformation, he does have a double elbow. And I love these splayed hands. They're just, oh wait, let me show you the other one. Oh yeah. That's the springy thing that couldn't make the wing stay down. I love these splayed hands still because you could get all kinds of things going with them. You can make it look like he's talking like, oh yes, we cannot do that. That would be a very bad idea, like he's just moving his hands. You can kind of get look like he's saluting if you get his arm just right, or like he's peeking into something like, I see something far in the distance. What is that? I can't see it. Or like he's blinded. Ah, my eyes. Oh my God, his arm. Yeah, that's how loose this swivel is on this arm. It pops off easily. Even though it's really hard to get back on, but you can see his arm's just wiggling there. Yeah, it should not have that much wiggle. But you can do all kinds of things with this arm. You can kind of like, pee, what was that smell? Who farted? Kind of thing. You can just do all kinds of things with his hand. It's splayed just right, or you can even just have it down his sides, and even on his sides, even though it's splayed like this, it still looks fine. And yeah, he does have a hinge at it, so you can move that a bit for different poses. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately. You do got a soft ratchet at the leg for going forward and back. Oh, no, can't really go back a bit too much. It can go outward. A much louder ratchet. Ironically, it's a bit weaker than the forward one, because you see, yeah, that one's pretty strong. This one. And we got a swivel here. And then we do got a knee, which does not work how you would think it would, because you can see this is his knee, like his knee panel, which will make you think that's where the knee is, but it's actually below it. So it does look a little awkward using his knee, because from the side it looks fine, but from the front it's like, wait a minute, the top of his knee is still here. Why is the top of his knee still here? It looks weird, especially because you do have this here, which makes it look like this whole thing can go back as a knee, but can't. It's only this piece from the transformation. And due to transformation, he does have ankle movement. So you can kind of get him look like he's stepping forward. And yeah, that back can likes to pop off on mine. So you can get him kind of like he's walking or he got hit in the leg or like he stumbled or something. So you can get some poses out of it. So besides my loose joints and the knee and the weird how the knees are done, he's actually got some pretty good articulation. Oh yeah, despite the face switching gimmick, his head does still swivel. Also, this is not plastic. His helmet is rubber. He's kind of got like one of those like German kind of helmets or something. I'm not sure what you would call those. Kind of reminds me of something from like Indiana Jones or something. I don't know. Get what I mean? So yeah, that's Blitzwing, the crazy three. Maybe not bipolar, tripolar? Is he tripolar? Yeah, I'm gonna go with tripolar. The crazy tripolar scientist slash maniac slash animaniac. Yeah, you're an animaniac now. Just really cool toy, really cool character. The toy pretty much almost perfectly represents his character. Like a lot of anime toys manage to do that. Really, the only one that's kind of disappointing by comparison is Lugnut. As you've seen in one of my other reviews, yeah, most of them got pretty close to what the anime figure it looked like in the show. Maybe their colors were a little off, but besides that, they're pretty cool toys and they're a pretty good line. even the gold and silver Autobots and Decepticon symbols still kind of work with their colors. So yeah, that's Transformers Animated Blitzwing. Really cool toy, really cool character. Honestly, one of my more favorite triple changers. I still prefer Springer from the Generations line, but even with the kind of mess ups that his jet and tank mode have from looking like they're just a bunch of pieces slapped together, he's still pretty cool, and I really like his robot mode. So I'm Nerdy Transform. This has been Blitzwing. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you go out and get this figure for a good price. And I hope you all have a good day. Take care.